You find a wallet with $300 in it. What do you find in the wallet that makes you keep the money? This was done as a science experiment. https://www.npr.org/2019/06/20slash 20one9/006/20196/734144322/what-around-the-about-honesty. The researchers assumed that putting money in the wallet would make people less likely to return it, because the payoff would be bigger. A poll of 279 top-performing academic economists agreed. But researchers saw the opposite. People were more likely to return a wallet when it contained a higher amount of money, Cohn says. At first we almost couldn't believe it and told him to triple the amount of money in the wallet. In countries such as Switzerland, Norway, the Netherlands, Denmark, and Sweden, between 70 and 85% of the wallets were returned to their owners. The Swiss are the most honest when it comes to returning wallets containing a key but no money. Danes, Swedes, and New Zealanders were even more honest when the wallets contained larger sums. In countries such as China, Peru, Kazakhstan, and Kenya, on average only between 8 and 20% of the wallets were returned to their owners. Although the proportion of returned wallets varied widely between countries, in almost all countries wallets with large sums of money or valuable contents were more likely to be returned. https://www.news.uz.c/n/article/2019/honesty.html Norway, Denmark, Switzerland, Sweden, the Netherlands, New Zealand. Who knew that better quality of life would make better people? /s. I can't speak to other countries, but in Denmark, if you take a wallet containing cash to the police, they will pay you a finder's fee equaling 10% of the contents of the wallet. So you can do a good deed and be rewarded for it in a very tangible way. For this experiment, the researchers handed in wallets to the reception of hotels, banks, museums, etc. I suspect that being on the clock caused the employees to exhibit good behavior, and if the wallets had actually been dropped on the ground, the results would have been markedly worse. I was hoping to see a ranking. I'm curious about the return rate in Japan, considering their culture is more about the community than individuality. I mean, they're so considerate they were picking up trash at the World Cup after the game. Is it honesty or is it poverty? In poor countries, finding $300 is a big deal for a lot of people. In rich countries, they should make it like $50,000, and I bet the honesty rate will drop too dramatically. I left my wallet in a grocery store in Vienna right before Christmas. It contained some money, driver's license, 2 credit cards, and my US passport. Yes, I am in fact an idiot. Went back the next day and the manager was apparently expecting me, handed it right over. Nothing was missing. But yes, this is a wealthy country. Found a wallet with just shy of $3,000 in it in Walmart parking lot. Had rubber bands keeping it closed. Recognized the guy, was part of the housekeeping contractors at my job. This was on a Friday after work, and housekeeping isn't in on the weekends. I was off that next Monday but went up there to take it to him. He doesn't speak any English, but he started crying when I handed it to him. Didn't even count it, just pulled out $200 and gave it to me. I've gotten 2 dozen steaming hot fresh tamales at least twice a month for the last 3 years now. Edit, the goods. I got home from the airport very late one night after a long work trip. I tossed some paper bags from fast food in the recycling bin on my way into the house, not realizing that I also had my wallet in that hand. In addition to my credit cards and some cash, it had my green card in it, which is over $500 to replace. About a week later, some dude showed up on my doorstep saying he worked at waste management on the sorting line and spotted it. He had pulled it out, which I'd guess he's probably not even allowed to do, and drove 15 miles to my house to hand it to me personally. I gave him all the cash that was in there, which was about $150. I once found a wallet on the highway in middle of nowhere, New Mexico. It was bright red with chrome studs and hadn't gotten dusty yet, which was how I saw it, and the road was completely empty, so I stopped and picked it up. Not much cash, and the owner was just out of their teens. According to the ID, presumably they set it on top of the car while getting gas and forgot it, and it rode along the flat highway for a while before they hit a bump. I was in the middle of a 2,000-mile cross-country move, and the address on the ID was 10 miles from my destination, so I hand-delivered it 2 days later and got one of the best shocked Pikachu faces I've ever seen in real life. You are a good egg. Lord knows that could have been his rent money or to buy himself a car or such an important thing for that amount of money. Makes me think, too, of a story I read about a guy who studied sleight of hand magic tricks as a cover for learning to pickpocket. First time actually pickpocketing, he pulled a wallet with like $500 cash from a guy on the bus. And then wondered why somebody riding a city bus would have that much, and concluded that it was probably rent or something else important. This would have been back when debit cards were starting to be more popular, too. He gave the man his wallet back, claiming it had been on the floor, and never tried that again. Dude, the tamales alone are worth more than the money in my opinion. Fucking love tamales. Wife's family is from Peru. When we went there for vacation, I had to adjust what I considered living in poverty. I was told that they couldn't keep ducks in the parks because people would catch them to eat. I would guess they are the 8% country, and the keeping of the money has less to do with honesty and more to do with survival. It's easy to be honest when you aren't hungry. The optimistic way to look at this is that people feel bad taking more money and don't want to do that to others. The other way is that more money seems like a more serious crime and people don't want to be on the hook for something like that. My mother and kid brother got on the news returning a wallet they found with money in it for a local news story in the late 90s. The news station had dropped a bunch of wallets all over the place. Makes sense. For a lot of people, taking 20 quid is something they can live with, while depriving someone of far more would start to make them feel more guilty. Top performing academic economists. Economics study is entirely based on the idea that people always make the financially rational decision. From there, it's what all the graphs and problems are based on. In reality, people usually don't do that. IMHO economics and is nothing more than suits that have convinced people they know something. It really is business personified. Be charismatic and make people think you know what you're talking about. I live in Switzerland. Keys are very expensive to lose because your landlords will make you pay to replace the lock on the building and your neighbor's keys as well. Overall, it costs 1,000 to 3,000 francs to lose a key, so most people have special key insurance. Everyone knows this, so returning a key is such a lifesaver. This entire thing can be summed up to richer countries in which people don't need extra cash are less likely to take extra cash. LMAO.